What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. What's up, guys? It's a Sunday night. Recording on a Sunday night. Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. I am your host, JJT, with Komish. Komish.
Yes. Hello,
another
guys.
Day, another set of NBA games. And
yes.
Let's talk about some of the players that were performed. Some performed, some did not perform. Where do we start?
We start with the top performers, I guess.
Feel good players.
Yes.
Kristaps, we were just talking about him, I think, a couple of quickies ago. Kristaps Porzingis played well today, I think. Let me just pull out the stats of Kristaps today. I think he had 4 blocks.
4 blocks. He had 1 steal. He had, I think, 18 points and 10 rebounds. So he had a double-double.
Yeah.
So that's good for Kristaps. And I was more encouraged by the 20 shot attempts he got today, which is seldom that he gets to the 20 attempt level. So that's good. But still hoping for a better offensive system from them. It's been basically Luka and Kristaps just alternating, and there's not much place. So let's see if they improve further.
But from the fantasy perspective, that's great news for Kristaps and Luka owners.
I watched part of the game, and you could see that there's no pick and roll plays between these two. There are times when Luka brings down the ball and then signals a play and gives it to Kristaps, and he just waits. And other times, Kristaps will just again stand in one corner and wait. So there's
I think it's more of a give and take between the two stars of the Mavs.
Not a good thing, because we hope for more synergy, I guess, between the two of them.
Yeah, but let's see. I think I don't think Kristaps owners would complain about that. Maybe some Luka owners might.
Yeah.
Because of the less usage, but I am sure Kristaps owners would rather have that than just him standing around at the corner and waiting for the 3 points, for the ball to come to him, to be a spot-up shooter.
Correct.
But if in case, after the first game, many Luka owners were a bit worried, well, Luka had 27 points today, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, a near triple-double. So I think that says something, I guess.
Well, Luka will have these numbers naman. He will have these numbers easily. But the way he got to this numbers, the numbers you mentioned, was not that impressive. It wasn't a good start also again for him. So I think he's still really adjusting to Jason Kidd, and you still have to wait weeks, probably even months, before he gets to the real Luka groove that we're accustomed to.
Yeah. But nonetheless, good fantasy performances from Kristaps and Luka. CJ McCollum, another player who is starting hot. Like last year. Last year, he started really well.
And as you said,
is this sad news for Lillard owners?
As you said, if CJ is hot, sometimes Lillard's not that aggressive. Today, again, Lillard in the first game had double-digit assists, if I'm not mistaken, or close to. Today, he had 11, I think. 10 or 11. So, and when you watch the game, he had 6 or 7 right away in the first quarter. And then, of course, it was a blowout. So he didn't have to really exert too much effort. But you can see that he's trying to be a facilitator, because CJ is hot. CJ was super hot in this game. So is it bad? Yeah, for me, it's a little bad for Dame owners. A little bit.
But again, this is not new. This is nothing new. I think they have a new coach in Billups, but last year it's pretty much the same thing. Like when CJ is hot, Dame tries to get him going and just worries about facilitating rather than just scoring, which is maybe not something Dame Lillard fans or Dame Lillard owners would, really want because they expect more scoring, more threes.
On the other side, the assists will be very high so far, like what's happening. The scoring and threes, you're correct, but it's not as if he's not taking attempts. Again, today he just played 3 quarters because it's a blowout, so
Yeah.
we can't really look into it too much into it. So he could have easily, I think, gotten 25, 27 points
Yep.
if he played the fourth quarter. So that's still good. So
Yep.
in the first game, the only reason why he really had a low scoring was because he was not shooting the ball well, which is his fault. Not anything about CJ. So yeah, there is in a sense that his upside, his ceiling will not be reached because of CJ. But even if he doesn't reach that ceiling, it's still first round. It's still first round material, first round value.
Yeah, and he is not a type of player. I mean, Dame is not the type of player who would really kill you on field goals, even if he scores a lot. So I don't think you have to worry about that. Other players who played well, Ja Morant. Is he worthy now of being a third rounder or a fourth rounder? I guess.
I guess a fourth rounder is okay. I've been asking the top 50 question. I think he can. I mean, so far he is there. Will he continue the efficiency? He has been shooting the ball well. Number one, the 3 pointers. There has been 3 pointers so far in the 2 games.
The
Steals,
free throws aren't as bad.
yes, and steals today he had 1. Blocks he had 2 the other day. So yeah, it's there, but not much. But the question here is efficiencies. Can he shoot this well? Can the 3 pointers continue? So those things are the question mark. So is he worthy now of the third round? For me, it's still too high. But fourth round, I think that fourth round we're talking about 37 to 48. I think that's okay. Especially he's healthy. He looks, healthy.
Let's just leave it at that, though, because last year he was also healthy until he went down after a few games of great performances. But yeah, the Memphis as well have been good fantasy wise. I mean, their starting five are fantasy worthy.
All of them.
All of them, right? I mean, there's really not one who should be there left in the free agent pool.
And as I said, who would have thought that Steven Adams would be a good passer? I didn't really know this facet of his game. 5 assists again today, and when you watch them, he's getting some ability to facilitate, to create on the free throw line. So he's better than Jonas in that sense because Jonas is a plodder, back to the basket kind of a center. So I did not think.
And Jonas needs to score to have some value, right? I mean, it's not like Steven Adams needs to score to get the value there because he's not known for scoring. But
I would admit I really did not see Steven Adams being fantasy relevant.
No one did. Like he's been like picked last, I guess, or
yeah. But we did say when around before the preseason when training camp started, we did mention Steven Adams and Montrezl Harrell already at that time.
Yeah,
again and again because at that time we already pinpointed that hey, there's value here. Adams looks like he's fitting well with Memphis, and remember he's now out of a bad situation in OKC. He's now out of Russell Westbrook's shadow. So it was a steal, and it's looking like a steal.
Yeah, and they are a playoff team, so I don't think Adams would be sitting or resting anytime soon.
And tomorrow they get the Lakers. So let's see.
Let's see, because the Lakers are a big team. So let's see how Adams does. But Ja Morant had 28 today, 8 assists, and 2 rebounds plus 1 steal. Other players, feel good players, Tyler Hero, another good scoring performance. And like we said, the rebounding has always been there with Tyler Hero.
Well, we hope for more assists. He had nothing. He had 0 there and 0 steals, 0 blocks. But as I said, 30 and 10. I guess if you picked him in last 2 or 3 rounds of your drafts, you're not gonna complain about getting 30 and 10 from a
And
guy that
not
low.
bad field
Yes.
goal. I mean, he shot 12 out of 28. Well, a little at 42%. Not so bad considering in past years he'll probably shoot worse.
The swagger is back. Now, that's what I noticed when I saw him make the game tying 3-pointer that sent it to overtime. He had no hesitation. The swagger is there, and his teammates were looking for him. Of course, there was no Kyle Lowry a while ago, so of course he got more minutes. But remember, no Kendrick Nunn this year, so the six-man role, the bench is all his. I am very confident he can sustain a top 120 top 120 value this year.
Higher, do you think? Can he reach that 100?
I would
top 100
say
mark?
I'll say this much. I think among the hype guys, he's probably gonna rank the highest when it's all said and done. Over Nikhil, over Poole, which is big because Nikhil also had a great game today, 14-14. But I'm afraid of the turnovers and free throws and field goal of Nikhil that will pull his ranking down. So I think Hero will rank higher than both of those guys. I don't know if that's top 100. I don't think so, but maybe 120 at that range, 110, 115, something like that.
And lastly, for our feel good, of course, we have other feel good like Paul George, but we talked about Paul George.
Paul George, top 5. Right now, I'm looking at top 5. I'm increasing the ceiling a little higher. It's possible. It's really possible.
He's been shooting really, really, really well. I watched some parts of the game. Yeah, the rebounding. We know what to expect with Paul George. It's an all-around game with a few steals here and there. So I think hopefully he can sustain it and hopefully he can keep himself healthy. As that's always been the question with him.
Just one thing with Paul George, the rebounds I think is a factor of them being small. They don't have a lot of height. Terrence Mann is something. Nicolas Batum is the power forward, so they're really small. There's no Kawhi, so Paul George has been asked to play small forward, sometimes power forward.
Yeah.
So that's the rebounds go higher with that, and of course the assists because he's the one who's gonna create the offense. He's gonna get double teamed, so he gets a lot of chances to get the assist. So that's why I think if he doesn't reach top 10, that will be a disappointment right now at this rate.
Yeah. Today, yeah, absolutely. I mean, top 10 is easy, probably easy. Should be easy, especially if there are players so far not yet there. Not yet, like Dame hasn't been really as good yet, right? Embiid is hurt. Right, so I think they can fall out of that top 10.
Imagine picking him 25th or 26th if you had your draft very, very early and then your league followed the rankings. Man, you could have it was possible to have Jokic and Paul George as your first 2 picks.
Yeah,
that is it's unbelievable.
Of course, Eric Bledsoe also played well today. I think one of the feel-good players as well so far. 12 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, a couple of steals and blocks. Solid.
Yeah. Solid. He's a hold guy. Hold him. The points will not always be there. But
12 points is not bad. Honestly, if he gives me 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal and a block, that's good.
But he got, I think, 8 or 9 points in the last 5 minutes. So it was really just 3 to 4 points early on. He got hot the last few minutes. But as I said, 10 to 12 points, that should be doable. But if he has 10 to 12 points, you have to know that he probably shot 3 out of 9 or 3 out of 10. That's why he has 10 to 12 points. Because he's going to get a lot of attempts also.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that. But steals, and the defensive stats, blocks, I think assists, he can help you with.
Yeah. And last of our feel good players, Evan Mobley.
The rookie of the day, rookie feel good of the day.
Rookie feel good of the day. It's interesting because I was thinking a while ago, the players, the rookies that were much talked about before the season started. Cade
Yes.
Cunningham, Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs. None of them have been impressive so far.
Even
And
Giddy.
even Giddy, who has been hyped early on. And those that have not been talked much about, and we felt that would probably not get as much playing time early on, have been playing really well. Precious Achua, I'm sorry, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, of course, Chris Duarte came out of nowhere. So those three players have been the hotter rookies among all the rookie crop this year.
Well, Duarte didn't come out of nowhere. We knew
we talked about him. I think when we talked about the depth chart of the Indiana, we talked about him a bit, but we didn't expect him to be playing this much and be this good.
This good, maybe not this good, but this much. I think he could play this much because of Levert's injury.
Oh yeah.
If Levert was there, he would not get this opportunity. But with Levert out, he's been playing 40 to 45 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And actually,
they've been back-to-back overtimes?
Yeah. Actually, his performance, his stats that he's been producing in 40 to 45 minutes is not really that good per minute. We're talking about per minute. But since he plays that much, I've talked to someone. I said, he's asking about Duarte. I said, he's going to play 40 minutes. Even if he struggles or just gets one fantasy point or even 0.5 fantasy points per minute, he's still gonna produce. That's why I think it's a no lose effort for no lose preposition for Duarte. Mobley is a different thing altogether. Mobley is really something special. You could see it. He's gonna be an early round pick soon enough. Maybe even as early as next year. Today, 1 steal, 4 blocks. My worry about him was the rebounding. Today he had 11 rebounds. 3-pointers hasn't been going in, but he's been taking them. Mm-hmm. If he starts to be consistent with 3 points, man, I got him at 80 something. That would look like a steal at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at 80 something, Jarrett Allen, although he played well today, pretty much empty on some of the stats there. Unlike Mobley, who can really fill it up everywhere, right? I mean, Jarrett Allen doesn't take threes. The passing isn't really there. He's more of like a poor man's version of Clint Capella, I guess. Right. You rely on Jarrett Allen for the field goal, the little points, and more of the rebounds and the blocks, right?
Yes.
But Mobley is a far better skilled or more skilled player than Jarrett Allen, especially on the offensive end of the floor. So Evan Mobley.
And then the last one you mentioned, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Just fast. Yeah, that one I did not see. This one, Scotty Barnes.
We saw him in the preseason, but never really felt that he'll be this good early on. I mean, probably some would think that he'll be eventually good, but not this early.
We knew that with Siakam out, he's probably gonna start. We knew that.
Yeah.
But we didn't think that he's gonna have like yesterday 25-13, today 17-8. Those kinds of consistency. I did not see that. And the maturity of not forcing himself to shoot outside shots, that takes maturity, because as a rookie, you want to show that, hey, I can shoot. And he's been taking less of those and trying to drive and then get higher percentage shots. And that has helped him. That has helped him a lot.
Yeah.
So that one, I didn't expect him to be this good. And that makes it very, very nerve-wracking and nervous for Pascal Siakam owners.
I have a lot of Pascal Siakam.
I don't know what will happen. And also for OG owners like me again. I don't know how.
And I was saying, I think if this continues, and we don't know how Nick Nurse thinks, but if Siakam returns, it might be best for him to get traded or move somewhere because he's been talked about, right? Even last year as being one of the trade pieces in Toronto. So we'll see what happens. I think Siakam started to ramp up some of his activities. Not close to a return, maybe late November. I think that's or December. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let's move on to some of our worry players.
Worry or buy?
Worry. Let's move on to the worry first.
Worry. Okay.
Norm Powell got injured.
Yeah.
Knee. He played really well early on, then got injured. The note said that he was still lucky that it wasn't as serious as they expected. So I don't know what the timetable for that is or how serious is the not serious part, but it looks like it's kind of serious in the sense that he'll probably miss weeks here.
Do you get that sense? Because I got the sense that according to the report, the MRI said, "Oh, good, it's not serious." So maybe it was just a strain. I don't know, or a sprain.
I don't know because when I read it, I felt that it could have been worse.
Could have been ACL, maybe.
Yeah, it could have been. There, when I read it, there was this sense that they initially felt it might have been that.
Yeah.
So that means it's a little better than that. If it's a little better than that, then that's still not good, right?
Maybe a sprain, maybe a sprained ACL. I don't know. Maybe that
yeah, we'll have to wait, but yeah, we most likely expect him to miss weeks here. Maybe 2 weeks as the fastest. I would doubt if he misses just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll probably miss time. Unfortunately, he was playing well today, and I thought that, he had 16 points, I think, just playing a couple of quarters. So we'll see what happens there.
This is the use of your IL plus. So you put him there. Don't drop him. Norman Powell last year has been dropped also because he started slow this year.
He always starts slow, and I think in past episodes we've talked about that. He would
be dropped in some leagues because of the injury, or when he comes back from the injury, maybe he plays poorly for a couple of games. We might see him in wires, and I just want to remind you all of you again that he's a very, very slow starter, but he usually turns it up eventually. Yep. So depending on the severity of this injury, hold him. Don't drop him yet.
Yeah. Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
One of the players that has been hyped this year.
Well, unlike OKC, Detroit has been disaster, and Isaiah has really lost.
But let's I guess unlike OKC though, the players of Detroit are, I guess, more skilled or
yeah, I would say so.
More experience as well. They have veterans there. They have the first pick this year, who hasn't played, right? So it's I guess the disappointing part here in Stewart is that the defensive stats are not there.
That's true. That's one.
I mean, the rebounding, the scoring, you don't really expect much. The rebounding is quite fair, right? It's close to 10. Not
the
bad.
Rebounding is 10. The rebounding is 10 rebounds a game. The scoring is a disappointment for a lot. I mean, 9 points a game for a top 60 or 7. You still expect last year when he was really hot, he was averaging 16 to 17 points, 12 rebounds. So maybe not 12, 10 rebounds. That's close enough. But the 9 points, that's kind of low.
Yeah, but we don't really, it's not really something that you expect so much from Stewart, scoring a lot, right? It's more of the defensive stats that you really like and the rebounding.
Yeah, but not, hopefully not a single digit scoring, because that's kind of a Draymond Green situation without
the assist. Yeah.
So that is not still good. But again, this is a buy low situation. And I have advised a lot of followers listeners who are asking me about him, asking me about trying to trade for him. And I told them, yes, go for it. They said, will we wait for some more time? I said, if you wait for some more time, maybe he gets a good game.
Just an example, there was a trade that in one of the FBW leagues that was just approved today. It was submitted yesterday, approved today. Isaiah Stewart for Wendell Carter Jr.
That's a trade I'll do every single day. If you can, yeah, that's good.
Maybe you would think it might not be a fair trade, but at this point, Wendell Carter Jr. is playing way better than Isaiah Stewart. So at this point, it's a fair trade.
It's a fair trade at this point. That's buy low, that's sell high.
Yep. Buy low, sell high. Yeah.
That's actually a very good example of what you should be doing when you're managing a team. And the owner who got Isaiah Stewart will be rewarded by the
hopefully sooner than later.
Regardless if it's sooner or later, Wendell Carter Jr.'s value, lots of risks.
Not just a lot of risk, but I think the ceiling of Wendell Carter Jr. is lower than maybe the ceiling of Isaiah Stewart.
Exactly. That's one. Number two, Isaac, Okiki, and then Bamba's
back,
game.
Yeah.
I mean, he even without those situations, he had 19 minutes in the first game. Although he had 30 the second game, but it will go up and down. He can play just 15 minutes a game and 20 minutes a game. It's very, very, very volatile for Wendell Carter Jr. So Isaiah Stewart, yes, that's a very good move. That should be the move.
That's a very good example of a buy low, sell high.
Yes. Cade Cunningham has not played yet, and if Cade plays, the whole team will change. He's the star. He's basically their main man right now. So if he plays, it will be easier for everybody else.
Yeah.
It will be easier for everybody else.
Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yes.
Atlanta also didn't play well today. I mean, overall, almost everyone did play as well as they did in the first game.
And I'm afraid, I'm looking at the minutes. Like, when I saw the minutes, I was thinking, was there an injury with any of these guys? Or was it I saw the score. It was 6 points, only a 6-point game. But it's like, aside from Trey, I think, who got 34, 35 minutes, the rest got 27, 28, 26, 27. Everyone. The 4 starters plus 2 or 3 bench players got that number of minutes, which I hope would not be the case, because it's tough for the other starters to really produce, especially Bogdan, who's a guy who needs more possessions, because he's playing with Trey. As I said, if he's gonna play the same minutes with Cam Reddish and Kevin Huerter and he's starting, that's even worse for him, because if he's gonna play 27 minutes off the bench and he's the main guy, at least he's gonna take all the shots, like what Cam Reddish is doing now.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets, if you're starting, you're hoping to get at least 32, 33 minutes.
Yep.
Not 27. So I hope this changes.
We'll see. But among the starters, I think it was Trey who had 35, and then DeAndre Hunter who had 30. The rest pretty much had equal number of minutes. Like Collins had 26, Capella had 27, Bogdan had 27, and of course, like you said, Cam Reddish also had 27
and
coming off the bench. And Huerter had around 21 minutes. So
and
that's spread across everyone.
That's without Gallo.
Yep, without Gallo.
Without Gallinari. So imagine how much crazier this would get if Gallo comes back.
Yeah.
When Gallo comes back.
But we'll see. Hopefully, I think Bogdan can get hot in stretches. So I think he'll eventually get there. He's a scorer, legit scorer, and he can contribute as well in other stats, like the assist, the rebounding, and the steals. So we'll see. Not really yet. I guess we don't really yet push the the panic button here, but something to monitor and see. Kyle Anderson. I guess at this point, Kyle Anderson, you have to push the panic button or push that drop button for Kyle Anderson.
If you're gonna drop him now, because next week I'll be releasing the schedule analyzer, and you'll see that Memphis has a very bad schedule next week. So plus he's not starting, he's not getting a lot of minutes off the bench either. So
plus the guys in front of him are playing really well.
And then he shot 1 out of 9 today. So triple whammy for Kyle Anderson at this point. he's not a sexy pick. He's not a young rookie or a sophomore that other people will just snap right up if you drop him. So yeah. For me, if you can be patient. You can be give him some more games. That will be good. But if you really want to, there's someone in the waiver wire that is a hot free agent. You can get him. I think you should go for it.
Yeah, it's not a big loss, I guess.
Yes.
Losing calendars, especially if you got him really late. I think he goes out of the top 100 range, right? So, DeAndre Ayton, also another slow start this year. Could be the contract. Could be the contract.
What do you think? Is it
we were actually debating about the contract situation of DeAndre Ayton the other day with some friends, with some friends, and I don't know if it's really the contract, but more I think it's they didn't play well today. They lost today, and I think that may have contributed a bit to that. I think the sample size is still a little too. They've just had 2 games, so let's see. Although it's a slow start, he had slow starts before. I think a little bit of the contract situation, but I don't think that it's that of a big deal.
I think it has a factor to it, but I don't think it's the biggest factor to his struggles. Yeah. I think I agree with you. Small sample size. Today is a back-to-back. I think they arrived late in Portland, coming from the Laker game.
Yeah.
So they were sluggish.
It's a blowout too. It was a blowout
loss. So just 2 games. So you can really you really disregard the game. But so far he has not. And last year he played very, very poorly also at the beginning. So for me, there's a chance. There's not a chance. He will turn it around. But for owners, 2 games only for Phoenix next week. So they will and they're off until Thursday Manila time. So they'll be out for how many days? 3 games, 3 days without a game. So maybe the Ayton owner will get even more irritated with him because
I have some Aytons out there.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be a good first 2 weeks for Ayton owners, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, but you have to hold on. I mean, this is a top level pick. I don't think you do anything much. And it's hard. It's going to be hard to trade him, in the sense that you probably won't get good value.
You should trade for him, not trade him.
Yeah.
I mean, trade for him.
Yep. And last, who's
favorite? Chris Boucher.
Chris Boucher.
Come on, give me some Chris Boucher. I miss Chris Boucher.
8 minutes. 0 out of 5. And I thought I got him a steal. I got him at past 100, and that was a steal. But
and he got called out by his coach.
Yes,
publicly. So I guess, but that's good. That's good. He got called out, so at least Nick Nurse has some feelings for him still. Yeah. he still regards him as a key player. But I don't know. You're the owner. Will you?
I don't know why he has to call him out. Maybe because it was a question. But I think the whole Toronto team has not been as good this year. I mean, today Van Fleet played well. OG played well. They still lost, I guess. I think they lost, right?
They lost.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah, at home. It's first game at home, right?
Second game.
Second game at home. So,
yeah.
Not everyone really, but the minutes I'm worried about. The 8 minutes. He just got 8 minutes, and that's the.
And he's been taking those 3-pointers, which is weird. He just keeps on taking 3-pointers.
That's another good option, because when I watched the game, he's been taking those 3-pointers, and those 3-pointers were contested 3-pointers.
Yes.
They weren't really open like when they used to be last year, right? He will take open shots, but this one I think he's forcing it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
let's talk about the center situation. I guess we'll be talking about Precious Achua
yeah.
later. I think among the three of them, he looks the best. He's a starter and he ends games as well. So I think he's a guy who could be added in 12, 14, and the other whatever deep your league is. I'm sure Boucher is not yet been dropped. It's still been owned. If for the owners, try to hold on, wait and see. Kem Birch, pass. I've never been
Cambridge, I think, will have good games and
dreaming.
bad games, but
Yeah,
the bad games there might be more bad games than good ones.
yeah. Streamer for
Yeah, if you
Cambridge.
need some rebounds, you don't want anyone to kill your field goals, so you can add him up.
Yes.
Yeah, and really, it's Boucher that backup center is for Boucher. I mean, there's really no one there.
This could get worse when Siakam comes back. I'm just telling Boucher owners this could get even worse. There could be some DNPs in the horizon if Siakam comes back. So be careful with that. For me though, as you said, Jeremy picked him, I don't know, 100 something outside the 100 range.
Yeah.
So if it really goes there and you have to drop him, at least it won't hurt as much. You didn't pick him in the 60s, the 50s, right? So just be prepared for it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the last of our worry players. Let's move on a little quickly here to run through our buy players. Eric Bledsoe, we talked about him. Precious Achua, we talked about him in brief. He is the main center in Toronto.
Yeah.
And he's been playing well, a double-double in the points and rebounds. So he's been playing well. Gary Trent.
For me, I'm not a fan, but he's starting. He's getting opportunity to score because of the minutes. If you need threes, you need a little steal here and there. You need the Norm Powell replacement, and he's available. Maybe pick him up.
Yep.
So low end. But since he's playing, can do worse.
You don't expect too much, I guess. Don't expect too much from Gary Trent, and but he can give you some threes and steals. Nasser Little.
Nasser
as a replacement for Norm Powell, I guess.
He started for him and he's been playing well. I've been impressed.
He had some good games last year.
Yeah, actually, I haven't watched him at all. So when I watched the first game, because I own Lillard this year, so I want to watch some of the games of Lillard. I was wondering who that guy was, and I said, "Oh, it's Nasser Little." And he was been very good, hustling better than Larry Nance. And well, he started.
Bad news for Larry Nance.
But this is good for Nance though. Powell's injury is good for Nance. If you didn't drop Nance yet, now is the time to really hold him tight, and hopefully this lights something in him, in Larry Nance. Larry Nance is another buy player, by the way. From Little.
So Nasser Little and Cam Reddish, of course, currently playing well with the Atlanta Hawks and being the sixth man. I think he's been the first player off the bench. Can give you instant scoring.
But again, like Trent, just low end. No must adds really today.
No must adds unless you have some Precious Achua drops there. I'm not sure. I saw a few Achua drops in some of my leagues, but it was shallower 14, maybe 12 team leagues. But yeah, those are our FBWs for today. It's a Sunday. Tomorrow is the last day. We call it the Judgment Day for fantasy, and that means we'll see how your week 1 goes. We'll probably talk a little bit about our week 1. But by the way, before we end, there's been reports that Nets are listening a little bit to offers, I guess. I think Woj reported this, that the Nets is listening to offers, or there have been some teams asking about Kyrie already, but Philadelphia is really not one of them. so far. So we'll see what happens there. So maybe some Kyrie development in the next
Yes, that's
few
true.
days, or hopefully few days and not weeks, right? And yeah, we'll see. And the Ben Simmons situation, I thought it was a good it was good news that he talked to his team. But after hearing some other perspectives, this could be bad news for Ben Simmons owners, because now Philadelphia cannot really force him to play anymore, and he will still get paid, right?
He's actually smart because the mental thing, that's one of the
Yep.
yeah,
Stephen A pointed it out. I just
yeah.
listened to Stephen A's perspective this morning, this evening, and it didn't come to me as initially, but then I realized, yep, that was a smart move by Ben Simmons.
Yes. Yes.
Now the 76ers can't really touch him. They can't really penalize him as much, because that could go on for a long time, right? And that could also go on for the rest of the season, and he will still get paid. So that was a smart thing, and that might not be good for Ben Simmons owners. All right, that's it for our daily fantasy quickie. Please, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't, so that you could get notified if the quickie has been released. Like today, we're probably gonna release it a little bit late. Yeah, but we'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Bye.